Studying for an upcoming exam or organizing your thoughts for an assignment due around the corner can be a daunting task. It's easy to put off just because you don't know where to start. Study guides can help with this. They are meant to light the way and pilot you through the material in a smooth, coordinated manner. Whether you're looking to consolidate notes, condense information, or organize it in a manner that makes sense to you, there is a study guide that suits your needs. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all our fresh content. If you like learning with us and growing your mind, please give us a thumbs up. This small show of support helps us out so much and also allows others to find our content easier when they need it. So go ahead and pay it forward. As we travel through the semester, we receive information from so many different sources. We have notes from our lectures, notes from our textbooks, and some classes even have labs and tutorials. This is all assuming that you never had to step outside the box to clarify a concept or do further research on your own. When we study for an exam, we need to sift through all of this paperwork and decide what's relevant. What is it that I really need to sit down and hammer in? And most importantly, do I understand it? These study guides will help you compress and understand all of the details that you need to know while linking related concepts. Organizing and color-coding these relationships will make the material much easier to understand. It may be obvious how a layout like this would help visual learners, but repetitive learners will also benefit by the review of your notes required to make these guides, as well as adding further details to interconnected concepts. There are a ton of different types of study guides, and they all have different strengths and weaknesses. Different guides are good for different subjects, topics, or even assignments. When you find and employ one that fits your needs, it will reduce stress and get the juices flowing to lubricate your path to that A. First off is the syllabus list. This is the most basic and often the guide to organize other, more in-depth guides. Start off by referencing your syllabus to see all the topics that have been covered so far or that will be on the test. Make a simple list to keep track of what exercises you have completed during your revision. This can be as simple as reviewing your notes. However, I would suggest using some of the exercises we will come to discuss in this video. The syllabus list is really more of a tracker guide, whereas the rest will also help with review. Next up is mind maps and brainstorming. I find these a great place to start testing your knowledge on a subject. They are really simple. All you have to do is take a blank piece of paper and write the topic, thesis, subject, or whatever it is under study at the time in the center of the paper. Next, write down everything you can think of that is relevant in the space around it. It can be elaborations, examples, or relevant topics. Diagrams or doodles that can easily explain a difficult example are also a welcome addition. Next, pick out the key elements and ideas and circle them. You can color code the circles in a way that makes sense to you, or you can add different style elements if they require further differentiation. Finally, add lines to link specific details and their examples to related concepts. If needed, insert notes that elaborate on the specifics of these relationships. This exercise employs free association to release the information you already have stored in your memory. It's great to be able to see what you already know without relying on prompts from your text or notebooks. Once this exercise has been completed, it's best to reference back to your notes and correct any details you may have added inaccurately. You can also add more specifics that you may have missed or not elaborated on fully. Mind maps and brainstorm also flow seamlessly into our next example, concept maps and branching diagrams. These are superficially very similar to mind maps. Brainstorming sessions can also be treated as a rough draft for concept maps. However, they differ in one key detail. While mind maps use free association to test and elaborate what you already know, concept maps and branching diagrams are used to organize concepts that you want to learn. They start out similarly by adding the subject matter in the center of a blank piece of paper. Next, you refer to your notes and add key details. From here, we add a branch from each key point to the details or examples that are most relevant, and then further expand on those details as necessary. The idea here is to work from the most general points to the most specific. If you're starting with a brainstorm as a rough draft, this would be your opportunity to rearrange concepts into a more organized way than the free association model allows. Finally, you add relationships with colored lines and add diagrams to any concepts that might benefit. It may also be useful to add stylized lines that point out specific differences between concepts. Next up is comparison charts. These charts are a great way to organize similarities and differences between related concepts. They can quickly illustrate everything they have in common and where they might differ. Here, we start out by listing the subjects under question, then adding columns for all of the details of interest. In each of the corresponding boxes, we can elaborate on a specific trait. These charts are a great way to visually illustrate differences and similarities between any two related concepts. Next, we'll discuss diagrams. In order to remember cycles, sequences, or any other dynamic event, diagrams are second to none. They are also an amazing way to lay out and identify landmarks in subjects that require an understanding of spatial arrangements. While there are always great diagrams with a quick Google search, they are nowhere near as helpful as if you draw the diagram out yourself. Even for those who are not artistically inclined, drawing your own diagram will focus your attention on the details under study, rather than just trying to ram more information into your head. The more detailed and elaborate the diagram you make, the better your recall will be later. Timelines. Timelines are the best way to organize information chronologically. For visual learners, these are vital. They will help you see the flow of time and the sequence of events. These are really great for organizing historical information, sequential procedures, or even scientific developments. Sample tests or old exams. Doing sample tests, with or without your notebook open, is one of the most tried and true ways to study for an exam. This is always suggested by professors, with some even providing past exams or sample questions to the class. I cannot stress how important it is to at least try these exams. Not only will it allow you to test your knowledge, but it will also give you an idea of the style of questions that might be asked. Knowing what lies ahead will help you to avoid anxiety on test day. Because doing sample tests is such a given, I want to use this time to focus on something slightly less obvious. Make your own sample test. While reading through your notes, whether it's the day after the lecture or when you're studying for your exam, stop at concepts and consider how the professor might test you on them. As you're reading, on a separate piece of paper, write down the question as if you were the one writing the exam. Add a few different ways the question could be posed. The next day or week, go back and answer these questions, then compare your answers to the ones in your own notes or textbook. If you added multiple questions for each concept, you can make yourself multiple tests and do this exercise repeatedly off of a single read-through of your note. This increases the efficiency of a single read-through exponentially. One great thing about this exercise is that it can be done ahead of time and then saved for when you're ready to study for the exam. Adding it to your study routine would cost only a small increase in daily study time. Then, when midterms and finals roll around, you will have ready-made practice exams with no need to search or scramble. Trading exams with your friends is also a great way to anticipate different types of questions that might be asked. Both testing and correcting the practice exams are vital. While doing the exam assesses your retention and recall of knowledge, marking and correcting the exam lets you see what information you do not understand. While you may believe you understand all of the concepts clearly, sometimes there is a nuance in answers or further elaboration that could be made, and correcting your practice test is when you will be most receptive to amend this information. My least favorite part of getting that A is all of the time it takes to study for it. Using different combinations of study guides is the most fun you can have grinding. Which study guide do you use? Or do you like to switch it up? Leave your suggestions in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single video. If you are so inclined, give us a thumbs up so we know you want more videos like this. Also, check out our website to get exclusive content and study materials. Just click the link in the description. Or, since you're already here, check out our study hacks and our organizational tips playlists to help you stay on top of not only schoolwork, but life as well. Be absolutely prepared, absolutely confident, absolutely stunning, with absolutely studying.